Good morning, everybody. I am OmniRuss, and welcome to Oxygen Not Included Quick and Dirty Tutorials, a series where I'm doing some quick and dirty, very quick videos. That way, we can get past a lot of the stuff in the game that doesn't actually have tutorials, and you don't have to wait through a really long video in order to see what it is. Today, we're going to be doing a trait breakdown when selecting your dupes and what kind of traits you might want. Now, I'm only going to be talking about the traits down here, of course, and I'm not actually going to go through the randomizer here because it's a much easier way, which is of course the Wikipedia. So we're going to go through which traits are desirable, which might have some little interesting things about them, and well, which are absolutely must avoid. So positive traits: twinkle toes, amazing, +3 athletics, they will run faster. Simple tastes, it's okay, it's not really necessary later in game. Food quality perception will be +1. They get really impressed by any better food, but it will take away from other skills you might be able to get. Gourmet seems like it might be good. +3 cooking, if it's gonna cook, it's okay. However, -1 quality food perception, meaning they will get negatives from whatever trait their food has. Every food has a morale trait to it. They will get a -1 from whatever it is, even the best food possible. Buff, amazing, +3 strength. Strength contributes, of course, to their carrying capacity. This is great for builders, diggers, suppliers, anybody that is carrying anything, such as scientists carrying water. Mole hands, great for diggers, maybe builders. That's about it. Grease monkey, +3 tinkering. This is all you're operating. This is any machine. This also includes kitchenware. This also includes ranchers using the grooming station or the shearing station. This includes researchers using the science machine, I think. Don't quote me on that last one. I'm not sure on that last one. I know that Grease Monkey is really good for a lot of different things. Anything that is basically operating, that has a little progress bar at the bottom, operating, Grease Monkey, tinkering will help with that. Quick Learner, great for everyone, but best of all for researchers, of course. Quick Learner is +3 learning, meaning that they get a I believe 75% learning speed on all new skills. This does not contribute to attributes. This is skills, which is the skills screen, which I will explain in a later video. Interior decorator, +3 to creativity. Not everybody has to be a decorator. This is actually kind of a -1 because of the -5 decor perception, and decor really contributes to your morale. So only get this if it's going to be on somebody who is going to be doing decorating later on, or somebody who's going to be in very nice areas. If this is going to be a builder, if this is going to be a digger, do not get this on them. I mean, unless you feel that you can handle the morale. Caregiver, great for doctors. This, good on anybody. Best on doctors, but definitely good on everybody. Early bird and night owl. These two are... Oh my god, Cat, really? You're gonna come in and yell at me now? I'm busy. Anyway, early bird, night owl. These ones cause a lot of confusion. Let me bring up my notes here. These ones cause a lot of confusion, so I really want to go into exactly how they work. So to give a small example here, with the night owl and early bird traits, this is a personal game, just ignore everything else that's going on, even though it is glorious. Basically, early bird only affects the 5 blocks here. So let's change this downtime just for example. 1 2 3 4 5. During these traits right here, during these shifts in your specific cycle, you can see which where you are in the cycle by little arrow. Right now it is during the nighttime. During these 5, your early bird will get +2 to all traits. That is every single attribute. Now, as for night owls are specifically when you're in this little dark cycle of your asteroid here. That is the last 3 blocks. These last 3 blocks here will give your night owl +3 to all attributes. So that is an explanation of the early bird and night owl traits, something that is not really very well described. I'll be talking about scheduling much later in another video. Uncultured, one of the best. Absolutely one of the best. They cannot do any decorating. That's okay. they get negative 20 decor expectation. Now, this is expectation. It used to be really effective in earlier versions of the game. Right now, it really just affects what kind of decor expectation people expect. This is great for diggers, builders, anybody who is going to be leaving, suppliers, tidiers, anybody who is going to be leaving your main area or will be in very, very low decor areas. Like, it's an amazing trait. I always go for it. As well as Diver's Lungs. One of the best. Negative 25 grams per second oxygen consumption rate. That's negative 25% per an entire cycle. Absolutely. One of the best traits you can possibly get because they'll be using less oxygen. And, well, it's not exactly included. Iron Gut. Depending on how often you personally encounter food poisoning, it could be good. Or it could be absolutely useless. I never encounter food poisoning. It's useless to me. It's just a thing. Notice all of these have -3 skill distribution. So if you want to get those skill points into extra places, make sure to avoid things like food poisoning, which don't really do anything. Germ resistant. Very good for diggers, very good for builders. Anybody, of course, who'll be leaving a lot and spending a lot of time around slime lung areas specifically. I would say this is good for anybody who might be going into the... I mean, I would say oil biome because of the zombie spores there, but like if you're going into an oil biome without suits, you're making a mistake. So I guess it's only for people who are going to be spending a lot of time in slime biomes, because it increases germ resistance by 50%. It's always good. It's always good to have. Just because, you know, just because. Now we're gonna go to the negative traits. Anemic. I always avoid anemic because of -5 athletics. There is no one this will be good on, because -5 athletics means that they are moving ridiculously slow. Eventually you can train your way out of that if you feel that the person isn't going to be moving a lot, such as if they're an astronaut and you have a bedroom right next to your ships. If they're a cook and you have food right next to where they're going to be preparing things, it might be okay. Or if you're going to have them spend most of the game on a hamster wheel in order to train out of that -5 athletics, I always avoid it though. Same with noodle arms. The noodle arms could be okay on like a decorator, on a doctor, on actually I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else that would be good on. Because the -3 strength is -75% of their normal carrying capacity. And you need to be carrying things a lot. Slow learner can be trained out. -75% to their learning speed on skills. Very painful if you're trying to train up somebody really, really fast. If you only want to do for like one job, it could be okay. Gastrophobia. These are what I consider positive traits because no matter what, when creating characters... I already clicked off that screen. No matter what, when training new characters, you're going to be getting some negative traits. Gastrophobia, pacifist, squeamish, tryptophobia, unconstructive, yokel, I all consider absolutely not hurtful. Even though they have this +3, well, most of them except for pacifist, on the skill distribution, they can be acceptable because they don't cook. Okay, there's a lot of jobs that don't cook. They don't do combat. Okay, you only want to do combat on like maybe just your diggers because they'll do combat much faster and combat really isn't a big part of the game. Squeamish, you only want maybe 1 or 2 dupes at end game to be doing doctoring. It's nice to have several dupes that can do doctoring, but if they can't do doctoring, no big whoop. Tryptophobia. If they're not a digger, they could be a supplier, researcher, doctor, astronaut. There's so many other jobs other than digging and building with unconstructed that they can do. And researcher, you only ever maybe have maximum 2 researchers, maximum, in an entire colony. Yokel is one of the best negative traits you could possibly get because nobody cares about research except for maybe 1 or 2 dupes. Irritable bowel, -50% toilet speed. Depending on your scheduling and whether you do my version of the toilets, which I will show in a later video, or whether you do giving them their own toilet. This could be good, this could be bad, could be negligible. It's up to you whether you really want it. They'll take a lot longer using their toilet. Now, during scheduling, this does take up some of their recreation time because they only use the toilets during recreation time. So keep that in mind. They might get negative, depending on the amount of recreation time you get them, might get negative morale because they're not getting enough recreation time. Up to you if you want to get it. Small bladder. The Duplicant is a tiny pea-sized bladder. Adorable. I don't know how that's adorable. I don't know how that's adorable. I am not into golden showers, but double bladder fill speed. If they are not near a toilet, they will pee a lot. Luckily, pee is the only thing dupes do. Small bladder can be good for anybody who is going to be spending a lot of time near your base, such as researchers, doctors, cooks. If they're going to be spending a lot of time in base, ranchers, farmers, and they're going to be near a toilet often. I actually consider this a positive because every single time a duplicant goes to the bathroom, they produce more polluted water than they use up in water in your toilets. Let me repeat that. Small bladder dupes can be, if used correctly, free water because they give more polluted water than they use in clean water. They're basically, they're basically converting food into water. But on anybody who is going out a lot, suppliers, tidiers, builders, diggers, you don't want this because they will pee everywhere because they won't be able to get back to a toilet fast enough. They need to be close to a place where they can get to a toilet. Biohazardous. Bad. Bad, bad, bad. Decreases germ resistance by 50%. No matter what, your dupes will be unable to avoid getting germs. That is sort of how the germ update works. If your dupes get sick, it's not your fault. That's why we have doctors. But these ones will be using up all of your balm lily like you would not believe in having to get treated constantly or spreading germs because they will start sneezing everywhere. Bottomless stomach. If you get a dupe somehow with bottomless stomach, kill them. K-Cals are possibly, same with mouth breather, honestly. But I hate bottomless stomach even more because you will run out of food. Food is a lot harder to get than oxygen. This game says oxygen not included. Oxygen is pretty darn easy to get. Food is always a problem. Get rid of bottomless stomach. Mouth breather, it's bad. I always avoid it just on principle, but to be perfectly honest, you can probably deal with it if you're very, very, very confident in your oxygen. Do not get it early game. Do not get it early game. Do not put these guys in Atmos suits or jetpacks. They will suck up your oxygen like you would not believe. Narcoleptic falls asleep every 300 to 600 seconds for 15 to 30 seconds. This can be okay. It can be tolerable. Basically, for researchers, doctors, cooks, ranchers, farmers, people who don't move around a lot, you can deal with a narcoleptic. For people who are going to be climbing ladders a lot, they will literally be climbing a very long ladder, fall asleep in the middle of climbing, and fall and drop everything that they're carrying. If you have had a dupe that is downed and incapacitated and they are being carried by a narcoleptic, that narcoleptic will then drop that person and they could drop them right back into where they were incapacitated. Narcoleptic, you have to be careful of who is narcoleptic because they will completely interrupt whatever they're doing in order to fall asleep wherever they are. Loud sleeper wakes up duplicants within 3 times when sleeping, causing interrupted sleep. I'll be dealing with this in a later video. It's tolerable. Loud sleeper can be dealt with. Basically, when they're asleep, you just need to put them in their own, they need to get their own room. That's it. Flatulence. Some duplicants are just full of it, and it's 100 grams of natural gas every 10 to 40 seconds. Now, there's been a lot of experimental videos done on flatulent, on whether you can say use a like air purifiers or whether they can power natural gas generators if you filter everything out or whatever. Honestly, you could have an entire colony of 20 filled with flatulent duplicants. They will never be able to power even one natural gas generator. Worthless. It's only there to cause a little bit of problem. If you want to deal with the problem, go for it. I would suggest not. So there you go. That is my trait breakdown. If you like what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be back for more quick and dirty videos. I've been Omni Rusted. You've been awesome. Thank you for watching.